quit. Quit. These flies are on your back, and I know that's not fun. Come on now, don't get on me like that. And greetings from South Georgia, USA. Greetings to the entire world. I'm out here on the, is it the first day of May? I don't know how many days, I don't know my months. But anyway, it's right there at the end of April. And we're out here feeding the deer, the cows. I don't see the goats up here though. I guess they're out doing their thing somewhere. The cows have trouble picking the corn up. They love it, but their mouths are pretty big and they can't pick it up as easily as the smaller animals. And here come the goats. All right, as I said, we're out here on the, what day is it, Debbie? Do you know? The 1st of May, 2025. And here come the goats. They were down there in their little house that they sleep under. Beautiful morning here, the 1st of May. And we're out here early. We've got work to do back there on the fences and some things to do in the woods. And everything looks perfect. It really does. Everything just looks so wonderful. But I hate to mention it, but it's the truth. The world is not a perfect place now anymore. The world is becoming old, and it has become polluted by the things that men have done. In that direction right there, about 25 miles, is a nuclear plant run by the federal government, and they are making electricity by doing some kind of reaction, nuclear reaction. 25 miles from here. Sometimes you can see the water vapor going way up into the air, where they pull the water from the river, the Altamaha River, which is the largest river east of the Mississippi, and they use it to cool down the reaction. I said chemical reaction. I guess it's something like that. And then they put that water back into the river. And anybody with any sense at all knows that that stuff is poison, and they're putting poison back into the, oh yes, they've got it all taken care of. They take the waste product and they bury it somewhere under the ground somewhere and contaminate the ground. And we have other problems. Well, every civilization has essentially, I'm talking about the big civilizations, even the Chinese at some point poisoned themselves with their chemical reactions that they use to make bronze and brass. The Roman Empire is well known to have poisoned themselves by making lead water pipes. And we are carrying out the same thing with our nuclear, all of our different chemicals that we use. We are poisoning ourselves slowly but surely, giving ourselves Alzheimer's disease, losing our minds, giving our children cancers, causing them to be autistic, all of this stuff is caused by the human beings. Well, it's not caused by me because I don't make any of those chemicals. And I don't use any of them on this farm here. I've never allowed any kind of Roundup or any kind of noxious chemicals to be put on this land because I knew they were bad. But I can't help it. Farmers around here spray noxious, horrible chemicals from helicopters, and of course it drifts onto my land. But I do the best that I can. Well, the point that I'm making is, and it's in our clothing, they have this new, it's not a new chemical, but we've heard for years, don't use Teflon coated cookware because it's toxic and poisonous. And there are well-minded, good people that are trying to stop all of those things. How about the vaccines that the chemical companies make, that they're forcing our children and ourselves to take? And those things have long been known to actually be doing more harm than good. Now, I'm not saying all vaccines, they do have some good medicines. But these large conglomerates have bought the chemical companies and the medicine companies, and they are making them more and more toxic because of love of money. They are interested more in making profits than they are in doing what pharmaceutical companies should be doing, which is making people well. So I'm painting a pretty dire picture here. And it came to my attention this morning, watching YouTube of a particular, look who's come to see us. Yes, now she's looking really well. Look at that beautiful red heifer. Yes. Going over to her mama. This is kind of my ideal kind of cow right here. That's the offspring of Tiger. So what are we to do? Well, one thing is don't poison your land. And people are trying to go organic and all of that kind of stuff, and that's good. But even the organic movement is corrupt. The companies that produce organic stuff take advantage of loopholes. Like, if you don't have a certain number of acres that you grow your food on, you can call it organic. And so what they do, these big companies, they split their crops up into small acreages and then call them organic. They have loopholes. And so a lot of times when we buy food and it says organic, it's a lie. It's not organic at all. But what are we to do? Well, we can't quit eating. We have to. Oh, this stuff is in our clothing too. These Teflon type chemicals. And they are persistent. They take, I guess, hundreds and hundreds of years to get out of the soil. Now, for years, the government has been putting sewage sludge on fields. They may do it around here. Sewage sludge, which contains the noxious chemicals. And now, some states are going around testing the fields that they gave free sewage sludge to farmers, telling them that it was good for their fields, for fertilizer. Up in the state of Maine, for instance, And now the government is going around saying, oh, these fields are contaminated. You can't use them anymore. And they're taking land out of production. That's the picture. I painted the picture. There is a solution, and it might not be the solution that we like. The solution, let's forget about cleaning up the earth. Now, we're not going to clean up the earth. The nuclear contamination is like 50,000 years before it dissipates. And some of the chemicals that they put, I don't think will ever get out. And many of these chemicals are in our own bodies right now. Stay away from that stuff as much as possible. Try to grow your own food if you can. Buy organic locally. Maybe the people are telling you the truth. But we're not going to get out of this world alive. And this world is not going to get out of this world alive either. The earth is going to be destroyed at some point. Yes, that's what the Bible teaches. And there will be a new heaven and a new earth. And it will be totally clean. And there will be people living in that new heaven and new earth. And who will they be? Well, according to our Holy Bible, they will be those that put their faith in Jesus Christ, Yeshua the Messiah. That's what the Bible teaches. And now we're going to go back now to the other part of the property where we have some other work we have to do. And I'm going to give you part 2 of the story. How to get into that new heaven and new earth. How you can get there and be a citizen of a place called the Kingdom of Heaven. So we're going to pause right now and we will pick up the part 2 of this story. Okay, I came across this morning. PFAS explained by the EPA. That's the government right there. Scientific studies have shown that exposure to some PFAS in the environment is linked to harmful health effects in humans and animals. Here they are: cancer, prostate, kidney, testicular, weight effects, increased cholesterol, and risk of obesity. Is this what's making America fat? Immune effects, reduced ability of the body's immune system to fight infections. Developmental effects, low birth weights, accelerated puberty, bone variations, or behavioral changes. Might be making people more aggressive. Reproductive effects, decreased fertility or increased high blood pressure in pregnant women. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. And it says that they're taking action to mitigate these problems. But the truth of the matter is that these chemicals are everywhere now. They're in the soil, they're in our bodies, they're in everything. There's nothing that anybody can do to stop it. It's just like using the different chemicals to farm with. If they banned and stopped all that stuff, the earth would starve because we have become dependent on that. And there is no turning back. We cannot go back to farming with mules and oxen. And back in those days, there were many, many, many small farms. And now there's almost none. It's just big, huge conglomerates. Okay, I was going to tell you what we can do about it. All right? What can we do about it? Well, almost nothing. You can stay away from these things, keep yourself informed, but you can't stay away from it completely because it's everywhere. It's in your clothing, it's in your food, it's everywhere. There was and is a man known as Jesus Christ who came from another dimension the dimension of heaven, where none of these bad things exist. And he came and did his work on earth to prepare and to make it possible for some of us to go back with him to that other dimension where none of these things will exist. And one of the big things that doesn't exist in heaven is the big D, death. There is no death in heaven. There are no tears. There's no sorrow. And there's no death. It is an eternal place. It's where God lives. And Jesus was and is God. Some kind of a way, he is God. And he came and did his work on the cross, died as a human, and rose from the dead as an example to prove to us that he can cause people to rise from the dead. Because he said, as he said, no one takes my life from me. I give my life. I sacrifice myself, he said, and I take it up again. I have the power to sacrifice myself, and I have the power to take my life up again. And he did. He rose from the grave. He showed himself to many people. He convinced hundreds of people that he was risen from the grave. And then he ascended back into the other dimension, heaven. And he said to prepare a place for us so that where he is, we can be also. And he promised that he would come back and gather up those people that believed in him. And that is the other and only solution. The heavens and the earth, this dimension, that's what the heavens and the earth is. It's this dimension. It is a dimension of physicality will pass away, and a new heaven and a new earth will take its place. We can be part of that. Jesus promised that if we believed in him, put our faith in him, that he would cause us to be able to go with him to that place when our mortal bodies died. Now, how do you do that? Well, you got to go about your business every day. You still have to eat and sleep and work, and we're in here. We're in this physical reality. All he asked is that you check him out. Look at what he said. Look at the miracles that he did. And ask him to save you. Jesus, I want to go with you. I want you to be my Lord. I want to sign up for your army. And that's all you do. And of course, you need to do your very best to obey his teachings, which, by the way, can be summed up in the Golden Rule. Let's go ahead and get that. The Golden Rule basically says don't do anything to anybody that you wouldn't want to have done to you. It's that simple. Don't get bogged down in all of the, can I do this and do that? Just say, is that something that I would enjoy having done to myself? Use your common sense. That's about all there is to it. Believe in Jesus and you shall be saved. That's what he said. So I'm inviting you guys out there to go ahead and check him out. Now, the way to check Jesus out, if you don't know too much about it, is you read it in the book known as the Holy Bible. And to go ahead and get right to the good part of the book, I will say, it's all good, but this is really tells you how it's done. Go to the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John and read it. It doesn't take long. He didn't put a reading assignment on us that would take years. Now, if you try to read the whole Bible and understand it, you will get bogged down. Forget about that. Read the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and Jesus tells you the whole story, how you can be saved and go to the kingdom of heaven. It's wonderful reading. Only some people will see it and some people will not. That's all there is to it. He said, seek and you will find. He said, knock. Knock on his door and he'll open that door. He said, I am the way. That is the way to that other dimension, that kingdom of heaven, where there will be no tears and no sorrow and no death. He said, I am the way there. I am the truth. I am telling you the truth. I tell you truly, he's saying. Believe me, and I am the life. Jesus demonstrated that he could not be kept in the grave. And that is the last great promise of Jesus. Death will be done away with. This earth and this heaven, this universe that we're in will be gone. It'll be passed away. And there will be a new dimension known as heaven. It actually exists now. This one will go away and will exist no more. And it'll be replaced. All right, that's the gospel of Jesus Christ right there, presented the best way I know how. And I hope that you'll check it out. Look, we're not getting out of this world alive. Get serious now. Don't be dazzled by this earth. It's a very, very temporary situation. And as we get older, we know it more and more. Now, some people that get old, they still don't know it. They're still running around in their late 70s trying to get pleasure from the earth. Going on vacations and cruises and different entertainments and movies and bars and all of those things. They're not going to do anything for you because your days are numbered. All right, that's the way it came out today. Appreciate you for listening. Now we're going to say the Lord's Prayer. This is the prayer that Jesus gave that we should say. When his disciples said, teach us to pray, this is the prayer. We'd like you to say it with us. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen.